Yeah, I just be on this vibe. Yeah, like I always say, I think it's very good to know yourself, and there is no way you can say you know yourself if you don't know what's inside you, because we are all carrying an identity inside of us, an identity so strong that if we can learn to harness it, then it will change a lot in our waking life, you see. And I have come to also believe that there is no God outside of ourselves, and no matter how much we try to find this God outside of ourselves, we keep being deluded of it. Yeah, so I've been about this for a long time now, and I I just have to let you all know that whatever virtue that you seek, be it love, be it peace, be it patience, yeah, be it kindness, yeah, whatever virtue that you seek at all is embedded right inside of you. Yeah, it is from inside of you that you can switch into whatever identity you want to bring out on this physical plane. Yeah, whatever identity, be it your wealthy self, be it your flamboyant self, it is when you really key into your identity that is when you can be able to take on whatever tasks that life throws at you. That is when you can really be yourself and stop complaining, and stop murmuring, yeah, and stop explaining yourself, because a lot of times we are stuck explaining ourselves to people that don't even give a fuck about us. Yeah, we're stuck explaining ourselves and complaining to people that can't even change our lives. Yeah, but you find out that if you can be able to tune into yourself, if you can be able to dial into the identity in you, then you can find all the solace you need, you can find all the calm you need, you can find all the guidance, and you can find all the directives that you need, for a better life. Yeah, so I would like you all to tune into yourselves, because one thing that shows that we really love ourselves is when we are honest with ourselves, when we are honest with how we are living, and when we are honest with how we could live better and make better choices for ourselves. Yeah. So that goes a long way to really point out to us how much we love ourselves. Yeah. Because if you really love yourself, then you wouldn't go against yourself. You wouldn't do things that are detrimental to your health. You wouldn't do things that are detrimental to your well-being. You wouldn't do things that are actually harming you in the long run. Yeah, you would be so careful to watch after this body that has been given to you to take care of. Yeah, you would train this body. You would exercise this body. You would be careful what you put into your mouth. You would be careful what you use on your body. Yeah. So there are lots of ways to show that you really care for yourself. I mean, it is not just clothing yourself and maybe feeding yourself. Yeah, in as much as clothing yourself, you should also know what you wear. In as much as feeding yourself, you should also know what you eat. You don't eat everything. You should know what goes well with your body and what doesn't go well with your body. So you really have to key into your identity within before you can be able to make a better life without. Yeah. I mean, a lot of times we are all striving to make a better life without having to really realize this identity within us. Yeah, we let this identity lie so desolate, and however much we strive to have a successful life, we still feel like we haven't achieved much. Yeah, so I would like you to be honest with yourself, and I mean, whatever true change starts from within you. Yeah, whatever change that really works, it starts from within us. So if you can be able to be truthful to yourself, if you can be able to truthful to yourself on the vices that you have let to run your life for a very long time, if you can be truthful to yourself, to the addictions and the dependencies you really had on you for a long time, that is when you can be able to make changes. But you find out that a lot of times our pride doesn't let us be honest with ourselves, doesn't let us open up to ourselves and tell us ourselves the truth. It doesn't let us tell ourselves what we should tell ourselves, so that we can be able to make needed changes in our lives. But we feel that these changes will come at a certain time in our lives. No, these changes can't come unless you are honest with yourself, because you really have to be honest to yourself before you can be able to enact any change in your life at all. any change at all, be it you want to change your lifestyle, be it that you want to, get into a new identity or a new version of yourself, you have to be honest with yourself. You first have to be honest to yourself where you are, and then from knowing where you are, then you can decide and be honest with yourself about where you want to go or where you want to be. Because if you don't really realize where you are, then how can you get to where you want to go? I mean, you keep messing the both versions of yourself up, and you won't be able to, you know, you won't be able to let go of the needed things you have to let go so that you can take on the next version of yourself. You keep clinging on to things that you would have let go. You keep clinging on to things that are more like weights to you now, that are no longer adding value to your life. Yeah. So it is when you're honest with yourself and you're really honest, and you tell yourself the truth without trying to filter it or without trying to be biased with it. That is when you can be able to let go of the needed things you have to let go so that you can be able to take on the higher version of yourself. If not, you keep being stuck with things that are no longer serving you, things that are more like weights to you, holding you back from getting on to the next version of yourself. Yeah. So you should really be honest with yourself. I mean, loving yourself starts from being honest with yourself. I mean, I used to think that I loved myself till I realized that I have been lying to myself for so long. I've been trying to fool myself, feeling that I was, like I was living the life, or like I was, living how I wanted. No, but I was being deceptive to myself, because a lot of lifestyles that I had, I knew deep down, like my identity, the person in me, the true me, yeah, the true me knew that these things were no longer serving me. I mean, I have done them for years. I have smoked for so long. I have smoked for years. And yeah, in as much as I do it, and for me at the time, it was like I was just, catching cruise. Like it was almost like I was just getting myself. I was, belonging to this lifestyle, and I was, having these friends. I could easily link up with anybody that smokes in any town I go to. Yeah, I could easily find a dealer. I could easily just, I could easily just link up with people that smoke, because I mean it's more like that, for smokers. Yeah. So for me, I knew that that lifestyle was not for me. Yeah, I knew that I needed to let it go. But at the same time, I found myself clinging onto it. I mean, I could even defend it with my life. Yeah. Despite the fact that I knew deep down that it was against me. Yeah. So you see that the ego plays this game. It plays this game of trying to showcase things that are no longer serving you. It tries to uphold them to you and make you still hold on to them. So that, because the ego is afraid of new things, is afraid of making changes, is afraid of getting to that new version of you. So it keeps clinging on to things that you're familiar with. It keeps clinging on to the old version of yourself, how you used to view life and accept things. Yeah. But you have to realize that for you to really say that you love yourself, you really have to be honest with yourself. You really have to know that a lot of things that you're onto are no longer serving you. I mean, you've done them for donkey years, and you see that they really bore no fruits. You're like, no fruit at all. But you see, you keep clinging on to them because you feel like, I have to cling on to this, and I have no other way of living, and all of that and all of that. But no, being honest with yourself is letting yourself know the things that are no longer serving you. It is you telling yourself the truth so that you can be able to let go and get onto the new things that are calling out to you, and get onto the new version of yourself that you know is out there waiting for you. It is waiting for you to let go of all these baggages so that you can come up and meet him higher there. Yeah. So you can only love yourself when you're honest with yourself. Yeah. Love comes with honesty. I mean, love is honest. I have said this, and love is honest in such a way that it corrects itself. It never covers its wrong. Yeah. So when you can be able to tell yourself the truth point blank, and let yourself know that it is time to let go of the needed things I have to let go and move on to the next version of myself, then you can say for a fact that you love yourself. Yeah.